guys, Billy Helm here, battling the snow today, but I got my sword with me and fixing to go in and make some biscuits and gravy. So, hey, welcome to Church is Unusual. Look forward to cooking some biscuits and gravy with you. Let's get inside where it's warm. Man, do I have a treat for you today. We are going to be making biscuits and gravy. We're going to use an old-fashioned gravy recipe, but we're going to use canned biscuits because of time. Maybe sometime soon we can put together my mama's homemade biscuit recipe, but for today we're going to use good old canned biscuits. But what we're going to be using is we're going to go ahead and cook some bacon. We may do sausage, but we can do both. I will say that bacon is the best grease for gravy. It obviously has a better flavor in my opinion. It has more grease. You're not going to get as much grease. You're going to get twice the grease out of this pack of bacon than you will this pack of sausage here, right? We got milk, whole milk preferably, but you can use canned milk and you can even add water to it if you want. Salt, pepper obviously, some good old Tony Chachere's, and some all-purpose flour. That's what we're going to use, so if you'll head on over to the stove with me, we'll get this thing going. Alright, hey guys, well I got that sausage frying up. Got the bacon already done. It's sitting up there on the stove, staying warm. Got the sausage going. I want to share a few lines out of the good book with you to encourage you. I know there's a lot of people going through some tough times right now, not just with COVID, but through the worst winter we've ever experienced in the state of Texas. But in the good book of Ecclesiastes in chapter 4, starting at verse 9, 2 are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, one will lift up his companion. And that's what I want to encourage you to do today. Go out and help somebody, or if you can't leave, pick up your phone and give a call to somebody who may really need that phone call, may need that text message, may need whatever it is to lift them up and encourage them to see the good. There will be good that comes out of this, and you may have a really hard time seeing that right now. So I really want to encourage you to either to reach out to someone else, or if someone's trying to reach out to you, to receive whatever it is your neighbor's trying to help you with. And because here's what I want to finish with this, verse 12. Though one may be overpowered by one another, two can withstand him, and a threefold cord cannot easily be broken. Hey, that's a great word for the day, and I look forward to eating some biscuits and gravy with you. And so let's get back to that stove, see what we can't put together. All right, as you finish up your sausage and your bacon, one of the things you want to do is turn that burner down. You don't want that grease super hot when you start putting your flour in. So I've already done that. I've turned the burner down, and here in a little bit, once I get everything ready, I'll get back with you and we'll get that gravy going. Well, we've preheated the oven, putting our biscuits in, about 15 minutes. Hey, remind me to take them out, would you? So one of the most important things we need to do is get that heat down, like I said. Make sure you don't have too much grease. If you've got a lot of grease, I'm gonna go ahead and take it off the heat. If you've got a lot of grease sitting in this skillet, you need to take some of it out. You just want barely, depending on how big your skillet is and how much gravy you want to make, you don't want too much grease in here, right? Now, you can always add a little more grease if you get too pasty. And while you're learning how to make gravy, that's going to be something you run into. Sometimes you're going to have too much grease, not enough grease, too much flour. It's just, you know, learning how to experiment and to get that perfect paste for your gravy. So what I'm going to do is, I've got it off the heat. And yes, take it off the heat. It's okay. You don't have to keep it on there. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start out. And I'm going to move it around like so. A lot more room for flour. Now, one thing I didn't do is I did not spice my sausage. Bacon has enough flavor by itself, but I will be adding spice to the gravy. but I'm gonna wait until I get this paste just right. Or my roux, whatever you want to call it. And there's lumps in there that's bits and pieces of sausage. But you want to make sure you get that flour out of there. That's probably going to be enough right there. We can always add to it, right? And that's just about, I could add a little, but I think I'm going to leave it right there. That's a pretty good looking roux there. Now, when I put it back on the heat, one thing, this was a big deal with my mama. Pour it on. Pour it on. She'd say, bring the milk. So, if you notice, I still hadn't turned my heat up. I'm gonna get that milk in there. And I'm gonna work it. I'm going to keep turning that skillet with one hand and the spatula with the other. And I'm also going to spice it up before I turn the heat up. And it's real important that you get all of them lumps, get a nice consistent flow before you turn that heat up. That's really the answer to making good gravy, is making sure that you don't turn that heat up until it's ready. And then I'll take the spatula and I always run it on the bottom because I don't want it sticking to the bottom. If it starts sticking to the bottom, pull it off the heat quick and rework it to where you got a nice consistent flow there. All right, so I have the burner on, but it's very low. So pepper, big time ingredient here. Yeah, that's a lot of pepper, isn't it? And then I'm gonna go back in here since the heat is on. I'm gonna make sure I'm not sticking to the bottom. It's a very low heat. It's a very low heat right now. Now here, I want to be careful. It needs salt, but we did have bacon in here. Now if this was just sausage gravy, it would definitely need more salt. Just a little bit of Tony's, not a lot. Remember, Tony's has salt and pepper in it also. There we go. Now we're starting to get somewhere. I'm just about ready. See, there ain't no flour, no lumps. But we know there's flour in there, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna turn that heat up. Now I'm cooking with a stove. I've only cooked with one time, so I've got it on about 6, a little above medium. And I don't want to let go of this spatula. I want to be able to move this gravy at all times. If it starts to thicken up, starts to lump up, pull it over here and work it. Mine's not, I'm just giving you an example. Just take it over here and work it down. Add milk if you need to, but get it off that heat. If you want a nice gravy, if your finished product, you need to be careful with that heat. Now what my mama would always do, but she was a pro, I'm not a pro. She would actually get it to this point and she'd let it start boiling, but she could take that spatula and boom, have it together, and I'm a little more conservative. Oh, here we go. I'm a little more careful, I should say, than she was. It's thickening up good now. You know, it's good to take pride in what you put on the table. You know, the word says that in Colossians 3, it says, everything you do as unto the Lord. And so when I make gravy, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to honor God with this gravy. I want somebody to go, Man, that's good gravy. And I'm gonna say, you know what? Good Lord bless me with the ability to make gravy. He gave me a mama that taught me how to cook. And so that's why I'm sharing this with you. Because if you don't know how to make gravy, maybe you got some youngins that are thin and you need to put some meat on their bones. Well, this is one good way to do that. I remember when I was coaching football, I'd have athletes and parents, what can I do to put some weight on my boy? Well, are they eating biscuits and gravy? Well, no. And I said, well, let's start with that. See what happens. So one thing you don't ever want to do is add flour at this point of making gravy, okay? That's a big no-no. But what you can do is, if you caught my chili video, same thing. Take you a bowl, some cold water, add some cornstarch to it, mix it together, make sure it's cold water. Then you can add that to your gravy and it'll thicken right up. But don't just go pouring flour on here. A lot of people do that and that's a big mistake. All right, she's heating up nice now. I'm gonna take that spatula, I'm gonna run on the bottom. Now if I was making SOS, which is gravy and hamburger over biscuits, bread, toast, whatever you got, then I would be using grease from my hamburger. And then once this gravy gets thick enough, I'd be adding the hamburger meat to it. And so most of the time when I cook this gravy at home, I don't add meat to it. We just throw it over biscuits and then put our meat to the side. But today, to make this a little bigger and a little thicker, and I've got, I think, 8 Hope House ladies back there that are going to be hungry here in a minute. I'm going to try to make this go as far as I can. All right, our gravy is just about done. It's thickened up almost to the point of where it's ready to eat. So what I'm going to do, look at there, oh, that's pretty. Last time I seen something that pretty had a hook in its mouth. Oh yeah, getting right. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pull it off. Make sure it's not sticking to the bottom. Keep stirring. See, it's thickening way up there. And take that spatula, if it starts getting lumpy, and work it like this off the heat. See that? Just like that. These non-stick pans work really good for making this gravy. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add my sausage. Sausage is cooked, drained. Now I did take it off the heat, right? Nice, look at that. Woo-wee. All right, now I'm just gonna take some of this bacon with these clean hands I got. Crumble it up like so. I may not put it all in there because I may want to eat a couple of them. There goes the alarm. That means them biscuits is about done. I'm gonna look these biscuits. I'm gonna keep it off the heat for a minute. Check out these biscuits. Oh my goodness. Bacon sausage gravy. Well, them biscuits got a few minutes they still need to cook, so we're gonna come back to them. I'm gonna go ahead and put all this bacon in there. Nice crunchy bacon. Again, you can just have the gravy. It's awesome by itself, but we just having a little fun. Oh yeah. We're gonna put it back on the heat. Look how pretty that is right there. Whee! Okay, I'm gonna move my heat down to low. Now, it's really best when you're beginning to turn the heat, either take the pan off the heat or turn the heat completely off, because the stove is going to stay hot for a minute, right? You just want to make sure you don't lose control of what's going on here. That's why I'm quick to grab a spatula and move that gravy around. I can tell you right now, this is going to be good. Getting there. Alrighty. I don't know if it's going to get any better than that. Nice and thick, but not too thick, right? If you can't pour it, it's too thick. But you don't want it runny either. And this has got a really nice, thick, consistent. Oh yeah. It's going to be lurping for sure. Them biscuits is just about done. Now I done turned the heat off, so this stove is hot enough. That gravy's in good shape right now. It's done, but I still don't want to forget that it's still sitting on a hot stove. Throw that spatula around. Look, we've come this far. We don't want to do anything to shipwreck, right? All right, our biscuits is ready. Now typically I tear these up. Well, I'm just gonna tear them up. A lot of folks, like my beautiful bride at home, she likes to just lay that biscuit up there and pour the gravy over it. Woo! These babies is hot. Now these canned biscuits, but they're good ones. Oh man, look at this. Woo-wee! Looky here. Probably should have used a spoon, but I ain't got time to go look for one. This gravy looks like it's ready to be eaten. Now I tasted the gravy. You always want to do the taste test before you add any more salt and pepper, especially with that bacon in there. Mmm. Oh my goodness. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. This gravy turned out awesome. I hope you get to throw some of this stuff together. Be sure you comment below, hit me up, tell me how you may do things different. Hit the subscribe button. Let's help share these videos, get the message out that Jesus is Lord, and that this gravy is really good, amen? So hey, until next time, Lord bless you. One thing, when my mama was cooking, or my wife's making sopapillas, I always get to lick the spoon. And since the spoon's not going back in the gravy, oh man, make sure you love somebody by giving them the spoon. That's so good.